Lesson 10.5, we are going to be factoring equations, all right? Go ahead and write down these 3 steps to factoring an equation. All right, in order to factor a trinomial, what you're going to start out with is a problem that looks just like this one right here. They're going to give you a problem, for example, x squared plus 6x plus 8. And they're going to want you to factor it. When you factor a problem, this is what your answer will look like. X plus 2 times x plus 4. This is called factored form, okay? So when you get your answer like that, do not go, oh, I need to FOIL that now. No, that's not what you do. This is your final answer, x plus 2 times x plus 4. Say, all right, how do we get that answer? These 3 steps are going to tell me exactly how to get that answer. First of all, this problem that I've given you, x squared plus 6x plus 8, is in this form right here. X squared plus bx plus c. Now, technically, a quadratic equation would be ax squared plus bx plus c. What is the number in front of x squared? 1. Now, I don't see the 1. It really doesn't change my problem one way or the other. So I didn't even write the a in front of the x squared because technically right now we are not concerned with it. We're only concerned with b and c. So step number 1 is list the factors of c. What I mean by the factors are the numbers that will multiply to give me c. C is always the number here by itself. So let's list the factors of 8. Somebody tell me, what are the factors of 8? 1 times 8 and 2 times 4. Now, a good way to do this is go to about 10. Usually if you go to 10, you cover all your factors. So you would say, okay, 1 times 8, 2 times 4, 3 times nothing, 4 times 2, but I've already got it written, so I don't need to write it again. 5 times nothing, 6 times nothing, 7 times nothing, 8 times 1, I've already written it, 9 times nothing, 10 times nothing. Usually you cover all your factors. Now, if we have a number like, let's say, larger than 100 and something or 200 and something, you're going to have more factors that go bigger than 10. But for right now, we won't deal with that. Now, I've listed the factors. Step 1 is done. Step 2 says, first of all, look at the sign before C. In this problem right here, what is the sign before C? Plus. So I'm going to look at this step right here. If C is positive, if there's a plus sign, look to see which factors add. Think about it. If it's a plus, what do you think they're going to do? Add together to give you the same number as B. So ask myself this. Does 1 plus 8 give me 6? No. Does 2 plus 4 give me 6? Yes. Okay? So this is what you would do then. You would take your parentheses because every single answer when you factor is going to look like this. The first term that we're going to have is x, and then I put in my factors, 2 and 4. Now, I've got to figure out what my signs are going to be, and this is what you do. Now, pay attention to this part because this is where people get confused. Is I look at, let me erase this first. I look at the sign in front of C. It is a plus right now. So that means no matter what, the signs in my parentheses are either going to be a plus and a plus or a minus and a minus. It will never be 1 plus 1 minus. It will always be plus plus or minus minus. And you say, okay, how do I know which one? Look at the sign in front of B. If B is a plus, it's plus and plus. If it's a negative, it's minus minus. All right, so I do this. Plus 2, plus 4. Here's a good way to check. Is everybody ready? This is how you check. What is positive 2 plus 4? positive 6. Does that match up? Yes, it does. So I know I did it right. Okay? Okay, so let's put this into practice. This sign right here should be a -2. Hold on one second. Let me fix this. Okay, let's do this one first. My step number 1 on my paper is what, Hannah Cooper? List the factors of C. What is C, Riley? 10. So let's list the factors of 10. So I'm going to write 1 times 10 and 2 times 5. Now, you ask yourself this. Let's look at the sign in front of C. It's plus. So which ones add to give me 7? 2 and 5. So I'm going to write X and X, 2 and 5. Now, what are my signs going to be? Positive and positive. I know because this sign right here, if it's a plus, they've either got to be plus and plus or minus and minus. And I look at this sign to tell me. Here's a good way to check your answer. 2 plus 5 is what? Is this a positive 7 right here? Yes, you know you did it right. Okay? All right. Now let's do this one right here underneath it. X squared minus 5x plus 6. Step number 1 never changes. It doesn't matter what your signs are. It will always stay the same. Step 1 is what? List the factors of C. What's C? 6. 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. Now, look at the sign in front of C. They're going to add. Which ones add to give me 5? 2 and 3. Not 1 and 6. 1 and 6. 1 plus 6 is 7. Remember, it's going to add. That's what that sign tells me right there. So I write X and X, 2 and 3. Okay, that's multiplying the equal 6. Now, wait right here. Look at this. I have a plus sign, so I know my signs either have to be plus and plus or minus and minus. What are they going to be on this one? Minus, minus, because look at the sign in front of B. It's a negative. Ask yourself this. What is negative 2 plus negative 3? Negative 5. Is that what you have right there? Yep, you know you did it right. All right, let's do this one right here. I have x squared minus 2x minus 35. This is going to be different than the ones that we've been doing. First of all, step number 1 always stays the same. So what do I do first? List the factors. What are the factors of 35? 1 times 35 and 5 times 7. Now, here we go. Look at this. Look at the sign in front of C. What is it? Subtraction. A negative. So I'm going to ask myself, if you look back at the steps you wrote down, which ones subtract to give me 2?
5 and 7.
5 and 7.
Oh, God.
So I'm going to write my parentheses. X goes at the beginning, 5 and 7. Now, everybody listen. Are you listening? This is what you've got to do with these. I know that in my first examples, the sign in front of C was a positive. So I know my signs either had to be plus and plus or minus and minus. But now, the sign in front of C is a negative. So I know no matter what, one sign has to be a positive and one sign has to be a negative. They'll never be the same. One's got to be a plus and one's got to be a minus. And how do you know which one is going to be which? This is what you do. Is everybody ready? Look at the sign in front of B. Whichever one it is, if it's a plus or if it's a minus, that sign has to go with your largest term. Which one's my largest term? 7. So there has to be a minus sign in the 7 and a plus sign in front of the 5. Let's check our work. What is 5 plus negative 7? Negative 2. Is that what we have right here? Yep, so we know we did it correct. Okay, now let's do the last one here. I'm going to list the factors of 56. So we've got 1 times 56, 2 times 28. Is there anything for 3? No. What about 4? 4 times 14. What about 5? No. 6? No. 7? 7 times 8. Okay? Now, we've listed all of our factors of 56. I've got to ask myself, what is the sign in front of C? Minus. So which ones subtract? What is this number in front of X right here? 1. To give me 1. 7 and 8. So I'm going to write X and X, 7 and 8. Now, how do I know what signs to use? Because I know because this is a minus, one has got to be a plus and one's got to be a negative.
8 is a plus.
The largest one goes to, yeah.
The largest one gets the same sign as B. So that means the 8 has to be the plus, the 7 has to be the negative. Check your work. What's negative 7 plus 8? Positive 1, which is this right here. Okay, let's do the next ones. All right. What is step number 1 for this first problem? List the factors of 28. 1 times 28. 2 times 14. 4 times 7. Any others? Nope. So, this is a plus, so I ask which ones add to give me 16.
2 times 14.
2 and 14. So I'm going to do parentheses, X and X, 2 and 14. What are my signs going to be? Plus and plus. Okay, let's see if we did it right. What's 2 plus 14? 16. Is that what I have? Yes. Okay, let's do the next one right underneath it. What are the factors of 8? Now look at this sign in front of 8. What is it? Negative. So I ask myself which ones subtract to give me 7.
1 times 8.
1 and 8. So I'm going to do X and X, 1 and 8. Now, because 8 has a minus sign in front of it, what do I know my signs have to be? 1 positive and 1 negative. Now, do not get confused. Because there are 2 minus signs there, don't go, oh, I need 2 minus signs. No, that is not right at all. Remember, when there is a minus sign in front of C, one has to be a plus and one has to be a minus. There's no other option. Now, which one's going to be minus and which one's going to be plus?
8 is minus.
Exactly. 8 is the minus and 1 is the positive. And why that is I look at the sign of B. That has to go to the biggest term. Ask yourself this. What is 1 minus 8? Negative 7. Is that what we have right here? Yep, we know we did it right. Okay, let's do the next one. Shh. What would I do first, Dawson? Factors of 24, which are
1 times 24, 3 times 9. I don't know.
2 times 12, 3 times, what?
Oh, be quiet now.
4 times,
I don't believe myself. I can't believe.
shh. All right. which ones subtract to give me 5? 3 and 8.
Yeah.
6
I
times
knew that.
4.
Now, what number gets what sign?
Eight gets
The
positive.
8 gets positive and 3.
Very good, because what's 8 minus 3? Positive 5. Checks out. Okay, let's do the last one. All right, what are the factors of 30?
30 times 1.
1 times 30.
2 times 15. 3 times 10. And 5 times 6.
Hallelujah.
Okay, now I've got to ask myself which ones add to give me 13.
3 times 10.
3 and 10. So I'm going to do X and X, 3 and 10. But what are my signs going to be?
3 is positive and 10 is negative.
No. 2 negatives. The reason why is, listen, shh. This sign right here, that plus sign tells me my signs either have got to be plus and plus or minus and minus. There is never one positive, one negative. It's always going to be the same. And this sign tells me they need to be 2 negatives. Because what's negative 3 plus negative 10? Negative 13. So if you would have done this, if you would have done plus 3 minus 10, what is 3 minus 10? Negative 7. Does that check out? No, it does not. That is how we factor. This is tonight's homework. Page 607, 15 through 26 all. You are going to modify number 22 and number 23 in the book. They should say this right here. I want you to change them around to say this. Also, number 24 and 25, your factors will need to be larger than 10. You're not going to be able just to stop at 10. Okay?